G'day guys, how's it going? I'm Aaron Whitnall. This is ACW Sport and here are my predictions for week 9 of the Premier League. Starting with tonight's game, the Friday night kickoff, West Ham versus Brighton. Now, both sides have seemed to get in some decent results recently, but I just think because West Ham are at home, I'm going to back them to win 3-1 at the London Stadium. The fact they've got Lanzini, Hernandez and Antonio up front, I really think they're going to create damage. I'm actually going to back all three of them to get on the score sheet for West Ham. So, yeah, I reckon West Ham will get a big win tonight against Brighton in that aspect. Moving on to Saturday, the first game on Saturday sees Chelsea hosting a very informed Watford side. Watford actually above Chelsea in the table now, sitting 4th in the Premier League. But I think Chelsea will just edge Watford at Stamford Bridge. I think Watford will give it a good go, but I'm going Chelsea 2, Watford 1. And I'm going to go with Hazard and Pedro to get on the score sheet for Chelsea in that game. But yeah, big win for Chelsea is what I reckon will happen in terms of really boosting their confidence and getting the season back on track. Moving on to the Manchester teams, starting with Manchester United. They travel to Huddersfield. Now, Huddersfield, they started the season very, very well, but in recent weeks they have struggled. They've failed to score in the last 4 games, and I don't see them scoring in this game either. I'm going for a very comfortable 3-0 win to Manchester United. I'm going to back Romelu Lukaku to get 2 and Anthony Martial to get on the score sheet for Manchester United in this game. Moving on to Manchester City, they host Burnley, and as we know, Manchester City are in devastating form at the moment. And even though Burnley have got some really good results on the road against the big teams so far this season, I just can't see them getting a result at Manchester City. Again, I'm going to go, like I did with Manchester United, for a 3-0 home win to Manchester City. And I'm predicting Kevin De Bruyne to get on the score sheet and Jesus to back 2 in this game. But yeah, I just see it being a fairly comfortable game. Moving on to some teams that are, struggling towards the bottom of the table. Well, one team in particular, Crystal Palace. We know they picked up their first win of the season and scored their first goal of the season last week against Chelsea. They travel to Newcastle United this weekend, who have put in some really good performances in the last few weeks. Their form's been a bit indifferent, wins, draws, losses, but I actually reckon Newcastle will win this game. If they play like they did against Southampton, they looked really comfortable. Unfortunately, it was kind of individual errors that cost them, but I reckon they're going to run out 2-1 winners at St James's Park in that game. I'm going to go Ayese Perez and Joselu to get on the score sheet for Newcastle, and I'm going to back Wilfried Zaha to score again for Crystal Palace. Swansea versus Leicester. This is a really intriguing game because for me it can go one of either two ways. Swansea surprised me by beating Huddersfield in the way they did. I thought aside from the Tom Ince chance, Swansea looked really good for the win. Leicester, obviously, we know they've struggled. They've sacked Craig Shakespeare this week. And it's either going to be one of those where Leicester are going to play with a lot more freedom because he's not there anymore. And clearly that might have been something that was wrong with the team. Or they're going to continue their struggles. And I'm going to back Swansea on this occasion just because of the fact they have got the wins on weeks that I've predicted they would lose, particularly at home. So I'm going to go Swansea 2, Leicester City 1 in that game. I'm going to back either Vardy or Mahrez to score for Leicester, and I'm going to back Tammy Abrahams to get another 2 for Swansea. Southampton versus West Brom, an intriguing game just because both teams aren't in the best of form. Southampton struggle at home. West Brom seem to be the draw specialists in the Premier League at the moment, and that's why I'm going to go for another draw in this game here. I'm going Southampton 1, West Brom 1 in that game. Stoke versus Bournemouth, again, another fairly intriguing game because neither side are in particularly good form. Stoke especially coming off the back of that 7-2 defeat to Manchester City. I'm going to back Bournemouth to get a point at Stoke. I'm going 1-1 in this game as well. I'm going to go Josh King to score for Bournemouth. And I'm going to go... I'm going to go with Diouf to score again for Stoke because he just seems to be in fairly good form, considering he's supposed to be a striker and playing at right back. He bagged a couple at City and he looks to be playing quite well recently. Then on to Sunday, and what a crunch game this is for both Everton and Arsenal because obviously Arsenal lost last week to Watford, putting a bit more pressure on Arsene Wenger, but Everton just cannot buy a win at the moment, even losing again on Thursday night to Lyon at home. And they need a win big time. The problem is I just don't see them getting it against Arsenal. I just think their confidence is so shot. And Arsenal, all right, they fell apart a little bit against Watford at the end, obviously. We know they lost the game, but prior to that, they've been playing some good football. They seem to be getting their confidence back. Good performance in midweek. Played some wonderful football. Jack Wilshere and Giroud to get that goal. And I'm going to back Arsenal to win 2-1 in this game. I'm going to go with Rooney to get on the score sheet for Everton because he loves a goal against Arsenal. But I'm going to back Giroud and Lacazette. Giroud and Lacazette. I thought about Iwobi, but I'm going to go with Lacazette to score for Arsenal in that game. And then the final game of the weekend is a cracker at Wembley. Tottenham versus Liverpool. And for me, the pressure is all on Liverpool in this game because they're the ones that have struggled to get results recently. Yeah, they won 7-0 against Maribor in midweek. They got all the goals out of their system because obviously they couldn't hit a barn door beforehand. They had only scored something like 9 or 10 goals in something like 150 shots, which is ridiculous. But since they're winning against Arsenal. But for me in this game, I reckon they are going to score. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think Tottenham will get the Wembley duck off their backs against big teams in this game. I'm going to back Tottenham to beat Liverpool 3-2 in this game. I'm going to go Harry Kane to get 2, and I'm going to back either Dele Alli or Eriksen to score for Tottenham. Or maybe Llorente, depends if he comes off the bench or not. One of those three, though. I can't decide between the three. As for Liverpool, I reckon Mo Salah and Coutinho will get on the score sheet for them. But I just think it'll be Liverpool's defensive frailties that see them have problems again, especially when they're playing against the likes of Harry Kane. So, they are my predictions for Week 9 of the Premier League. Please comment below. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know what you think your predictions are going to be. And I, of course, will see you after the weekend when we review Week 9 of the Premier League. Please don't forget to subscribe to ACW Sport, and I will see you guys again soon.